Yeah.
Ready for the session, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In our last session, we discussed something about recruitment, and we will briefly remind ourselves what we said recruitment is before we get into our today's business. So, briefly, what did we say recruitment is? Yes.
It is the process of attracting the qualified candidates in the organization.
So today I would or we will look at the contract of employment theory. So generally here we define what employment contract is. Yeah. We also talk about the steps, the information of employment contracts. We also talk about the contents in employment contract, or what employment contract means. Now, what do you think a contract of employment is? Contract of employment. Yes, sir.
Contract of employment is simply an agreement between the employer and the employee on ways of payment, on how the employee is going to carry out his activities or her activities.
Very good. This is generally the agreement. Between an employer and the employee. Remember, they must discuss something. In most cases, the agreement or the contract contains terms and conditions of employment, and the terms and conditions of employment, like the duration of employment, termination conditions, dispute resolution, and more others. So that is simply what we mean by employment contract. Now, the other thing we'll talk about the steps, information of employment contract. In other words, you are an employer and you need employees. Where do you begin? One, it is what we call offer. The employer should be ready or should be willing to offer an employment, and that is why now the employee will say yes or will apply for the factors. Number two is acceptance. What we mean by that is the candidate reviews the offer and formally accepts it. It might be through writing or maybe verbally. Nimesoma vile employer anataka, naona ni sawa, nakubali, or else you can also decline. Then number 3, we have what we call consideration. And then with this, it refers to the extent of value, that is, employee provides labor, and then the employer provides compensation and benefits. That is generally the pay or the salary. And then number 4, we have what we call the mutual agreement. These are the steps. What we mean by that, you know, both the parties, that is the employer and the employee, have to agree on or come into terms and agree on certain things or terms for the job to be given. And then number 5, we have what you call legality, and that is simply complying with the local laws and regulations. Remember, in every organization there must be laws that has to be followed by all employees. And number 6, we have a written document. Remember, if anything happens, you are an employee, and something has happened to you, or for instance, the organization wants to terminate your contract illegally. You want to sue them. You've no evidence to show that you are working for that organization. Do you think you will manage?
No.
Not really, because you've no evidence. That is why there should be a document which is signed by both the parties to show that you've been working for that organization. That is all about the steps in forming employment contract. Now the last one is on contents of employment contracts. Contents. What is entailed in that contract? Number 1 is the job title, and where we have the job title, we will have the job description as well. So number 1, or content number 1, is job title and description. And number 2, we have what you call compensation. Compensation is majorly what are you receiving as an employee? Now that you've been offering services, you've been working for that organization or that company for all month, what are you getting in return? Number 3, we have what we call benefits. Benefits, you've worked, yes, you're expecting something apart from your wage or your salary. After you've worked for a period of time, apart from what you are getting, those benefits, maybe retirement benefits, and so on. Now, there is also what we call the work hours. How long are you working in a day, in a week, and so forth. And we also have duration. We again have probation period. This is now the period when the organization or the company will just be watching on before they confirm you to a permanent employee. Then number 7, we have what we call termination. If the organization or the company thinks of stopping you from working, maybe you want to leave, what are the conditions? Then the last one is signatures. You sign, you agree on the terms. So the employer has signed and the employee also has signed. So before we wind up, I just give out the statement, then you look at the parties to a contract. Yeah, because a contract cannot be signed just by one person. It has to have several, that is the employer and the employee. I want to wish you all the best. God bless you.
Thank you.